Good morning again. This is Turon Chapman, and I'm host of the Herndon Farmers Market. We have Mr. Jim Bourne with us again, who is actually with the lamb quarters.
That's right.
And you are actually donating a chicken for our next recipe.
Amazing.
Amazing indeed. Well, would you please give us a little information about the chicken that we are going to cook for the recipe, how you grow it, and how you really treat them?
Sure. What a lot of people don't realize is that in general there are two different kinds of chickens in the chicken world. There are laying hens that produce basically eggs, and then there are meat chickens, or what we call broiler chickens, that are specifically raised for meat. So the chicken that you're going to use today is a broiler chicken, and it's a variety called the Cornish Rock. You'll note that it has the double-breasted white meat, which is very popular with most Americans. These chicks come to me by the mail. The post office, I order them from the hatchery, and the hatchery I use is Moyer Chicks up in Quakerstown, Pennsylvania. And the chicks hatch out there. They put them in a cardboard box and mail them to me. And my postmaster calls me up the next day and tells me that my chicks have arrived. So I get the chicks as they're a day old, and I put them in what's known as a brooder house. Now, a day-old chick needs to have a constant temperature of about 90 degrees. You don't want to get them too cold or else they'll get pneumonia, and of course you don't want to get them too hot because they don't like that either. So we use heat lamps in a small enclosed building. I have wood shavings on the floor. As soon as I get the chicks, I open up the box, I take each chick out, and I dip its beak into the water, and then I let it go. And it runs out and it finds its food, it remembers where the water was, and all of life is happy for that chick.
How long do they roam until they get to the age where you take them to slaughter, I should say?
Well, the next step in this process is the chicks have to stay in the brooder house until they lose their downy feathers, fluff, and they grow their own feathers out. And that happens at about 3 to 4 weeks of age. So then I go and I put these 3 to 4 week old chicks into crates, and I take them out into the field. And I have a movable house that the chicks live in, and around that movable house is an electric poultry netting fence to keep the predators at bay. Right. Because as we know, everything likes chicken, including foxes and hawks, etc. I can't do a whole lot about the hawks because they fly in, but the electric poultry netting helps to keep the foxes and the raccoons and all the other animals out. And so they will spend the next 4 weeks of their lives out in the pasture there. I feed them twice a day. And you'll probably wonder, well, doesn't a chicken get all of its nutritional value from just eating the grass? And that would be no. They get about 20%. And just roaming around and walking around outside makes them a stronger, more viable animal anyhow, healthier. But I feed my chickens non-GMO corn, non-GMO roasted soybeans, feed-grade limestone, oats, and an organic mineral mix from the Fertrell Company. And all of this is put together by one of my local feed mills that helps me. And then we butcher right on the farm.
Okay. Tell me what other markets there are in wintertime.
Okay, wintertime, of course, we're limited in our markets because most markets will shut down. But I have a list here that's put together. In Arlington County, we have the Westover Market, the market at the courthouse, and the market at Columbia Pike. The City of Falls Church, they also have a market that goes all through the wintertime, all year long. And then in Loudoun County, there's the Leesburg Farmers Market, and there's the one in Purcellville. And finally, there's the one that I'm at in Old Town Alexandria, which is available right in front of City Hall at Market Square on King Street.
So if we are done with the season that is ending in November here, where would they be able to get the stuff from you?
Okay, I continue to deliver up into Herndon every week. I deliver on Thursdays. And if you would like to be on my email list, you can contact me at thelambsquarter@comcast.net.
Very good. Pleasure seeing you again and talking with you. And thank you so much again for donating the chicken for our next recipe. I appreciate it.
Thank you so
much. And have a great
Sharon.
season again the next year. Thank you for joining us, Herndon Farmers Market episode of recipes. We had our chicken donated by Lamb's Quarter Farm, and we have already cut up a portion of the drumstick part and the thigh and the wing, and we are going to be doing two different kind of chicken kebab with basmati rice. Our basmati rice is just, we started putting it in the rice cooker with olive oil and water and salt. And later on, when it's done, we will add some saffron to the top for the color. And as far as chicken goes, we are going to add very minced fine onions, garlic, definitely saffron and yogurt. I've already had mixed the garlic, onion, and saffron. As you see the color, this beautiful color. Saffron usually comes in a very fine, thin hair-like in a container. The best way to use saffron is to put it in one of these, what they call pharmacy grinder, and put some sugar in it to help it to grind and make it into a form of powdery, like sort of is just like sort of a powder, and that way you can control the portion of the saffron you will use in your recipes. We have already, I think, added enough saffron to our chicken for the chicken kebab, but after I add the yogurt, I want to mix it up and make sure that we had enough of saffron as ingredient in the recipe, because saffron really gives a wonderful aroma and taste to the kebab, which was marinated in garlic and onion. And I will give it a toss with my gloves and try to combine all the ingredients very carefully. And because the chicken with the bone and skin takes longer, we will cook the chicken thigh and the legs and the wings on the George Foreman before we do the breast kebab, which we will do the skewer it over the and cook it over the George Foreman. I think as far as the ingredient goes into our kebab is enough, as you see, as far as the color, how beautiful the color has become. We're going to take the drumsticks, and we already heat up the George Foreman, and we will place it one by one on George Foreman. Oh, that sound of sizzling, and the aroma of it, it will really make you feel like it builds up your appetite, your appetizing sense of food. And let's put the George Foreman top on and continue for the next portion of the cooking. We will wait until we put the new batch in there, and we'll come back to you. Okay, we're back over here to check our chicken with bone and skin on the grill, and also check on the rice. And as soon as we are done with this, I'm going to show you how we are doing the chicken breast part, which is boneless and skinless. It looks like it's really coming along fine, and it's cooking properly. And we want to turn it around and fold it and take it off and put it on the side, and then do another batch of the chicken on the Foreman grill, George Foreman grill over here. It's doing its job. And as soon as that's done, then we'll come back at the end, because the chicken breast, which we put on a skewer, it doesn't take as long as the chicken with the bone. I'm going to put the thigh portion of it also on the grill. Of course, as I said, it has the skin and the bone, and we'll make another space for the other one and show you how to use this skewer to do the boneless part. Let me put my gloves on and get a skewer, and you could use metal skewer if you are barbecuing on the charcoal outdoor. But since we're not doing that, we're going to use these little small skewers to put in the chicken breast portions, which they're cut about 2 inches each, which was marinated in the yogurt, garlic, and onion, and saffron, which is the key for the chicken kebab. We will use this portion of the skinless breast part at the last session of the cooking, because as I said, it doesn't take that long. And that's how it will look. I mean, if you have a bigger George Foreman skewer that has a bigger space, you could use a bigger one. Or if you're doing an outdoor grilling, then you could use your metal grill to grill your chicken. We have already made, let's say, about 5 or 6 of these skewers, which will be going on top of the basmati rice, which we have already started cooking with rice cooker, olive oil, salt, and later on we will put some saffron on it too. Okay, we're going to check the portion of the juju kebab, which is the chicken with bone and skin on the grill. And as soon as we check this one and see if it's done, we're going to use the chicken breast, which we put on the skewer. It looks like it's just about right, nice and tender and cooked. And let me just take this off of this George Foreman and start cooking the breast part. All right. The skewers, breast chicken. We're going to line them up one by one on the George Foreman. And then put the top down let it grill, sit for a few minutes of the time that it's cooking, 5 to 7 minutes. Since it's a George Foreman grill, it will actually grill it on both sides. And as soon as we check on the breast, then we'll come back and I will show you how to present it. Okay, we are just about ready to end the cooking session of the chicken kebabs, and the rice already is cooked and ready to be served. So I'm going to show you how to set up the dish. We're going to place the rice on the plate. Since we're going to have two different kind of chicken kebab, one is with the skin and the bone, and the other one is just the breast without skin and the bone, I'm going to do a presentation for both plates. We have already mixed some saffron on the rice. The way you can see it is the color on the rice. We're going to put the portions of the chicken kebab with the bone on the side. And we are ready to take the chicken kebab, the breast portion that we skewered earlier, and put that on top to the side of the rice. And we still have a few more that we want to make sure we cook them also. And we have tomato to cut in half. And as far as the presentation go, we need some color. And I thought perhaps red would be a nice color to go for on the side of the dish. Normally, I would say that it would be a good idea to grill your tomato, but we're going to just go ahead and use it as a garnish with basil, and basil usually is a good complement for the chicken kebab and rice. And let me do the same thing for the other one. And for the taste of the rice, usually it's a very good idea to put some natural butter on top of the rice. And I would say this would be just a right to serve. I would like for you all to try this recipe and come back and let us know how you enjoyed the show. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for joining us with Herndon Farmers Market. Today we are interviewing Mark Dewey with CSA Manager, Great Country Farms. thank you very much for coming and joining us. We love to hear about CSA and explain to us exactly what it is and how you all.
Well, I'll be glad to. So community-supported agriculture is a farming model that works where members pay farmers a fee at the beginning of every growing season, and then for that fee, you're essentially buying a share of our crop. And usually, farmers that function this way have a set season. So rather than buying food from us year-round, you're buying food from us for a limited window of time. In our case, it's 20 weeks. Some farms are a little bit longer than that. Some farms are a little bit shorter than that.
How is CSA helpful to farmers?
Well, it's great for farmers because it offers farmers a whole lot more stability than farmers markets do, because we're in effect getting paid in advance, so we know pretty clearly what our annual income is going to be, and that makes it a whole lot easier for us to plan and to budget and to avoid debt than it would be if we just grew crops and tried to sell them to people at farmers markets.
And what kind of impact do they have on the community?
Excuse me. Well, I think that they have a great, the biggest impact is that the CSA model makes it possible for diversified farms to continue to function in regions that are close to large metropolitan areas. So, for example, we are located about 50 miles from here, so relatively close to the Washington Beltway, but we're a farm that produces 60 to 70 different products every year. And we think that it's advantageous to the community to maintain that kind of agricultural presence nearby large metropolitan areas.
Now, you mentioned something about there's a need of enrollment. When does it start and when does it end?
For us, the enrollment period begins, we'll start selling shares for 2017 in late January. And that will continue. So the enrollment period will continue from the end of January until probably the beginning of May.
And also, what does it include, CSA?
In our case, our shares usually include 6 or 7 different items every week, and it's a mixture of fruits and vegetables. The specific items vary considerably from one week to the next. It's all a question of what's in season. So in spring, for example, you're going to get spinach and asparagus and green onions and strawberries and cherries and things like that. Whereas in August, you're going to get sweet corn and tomatoes and green beans and peaches and that sort of thing.
And why is it that there is a limit as, the time? How do you define, when it ends and when it starts?
It's a question of the growing season for us. So
I see.
We don't grow anything under cover. In this climate, we could grow under cover, and I know that there are some CSA farms that do grow under cover, meaning they have what are called high tunnels, which are big. They're not really greenhouses, because they're open on each end, but they're covers. So in that way, you can control the growing climate to some extent. And since the weather around here is relatively mild for most of the year, you can grow a lot of crops under cover in that way for 10 months of the year. We don't do that. So all of our crops are grown completely out in the open, and that means that we don't really have enough product available until the beginning of June.
Certain of time.
Right.
And season. Now, the members, are they able to come to the farm and pick?
Yes, we have different kinds of memberships. One level of membership is exclusively what we call farm pickup, where the members always come to the farm and they pick up their share at the farm. We also do group site delivery. There's a group site right here in Herndon at the Great Harvest Breads over nearby. And we do home delivery as well. But each one of those different shares includes an invitation to come to the farm and also to pick there on the farm property.
This is absolutely fantastic. And also, from what I saw on your website, which customers can go and members can go and find out about your activities. I know that for a fact you do lots of other actions, and they are for children.
We do. We have a large playground area for children with rope swings and giant slides and mazes and pedal carts, and there's a putt-putt golf course, and there are ponds that kids can fish in and things like that. There are animals that kids can feed. A hay wagon that takes you out to the U-pick fields. Across the road, we also have a vineyard and a brewery as well, so that after your kids have tired themselves out, you can go across the road and you can have a glass of wine or a glass of beer.
Yeah, and from what I saw is actually there are lots of wedding goes on there too.
We have a wedding venue as well, that's right, yes.
Well, this is absolutely a fantastic, fantastic information, and I'm sure everyone will love to come to your site, which we will be giving you a website. You can just mention what it is.
It's greatcountryfarms.com.
Fantastic, and I really appreciate you coming.
Well, thank you.
And
Thanks for
giving
having
us
me.
This wonderful
glad to have a chance to talk to you.
Thank
for
you so very
inviting me.
much. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
And thank you so very much, everyone, for joining us. Until next time.